Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about No Country for Old Men, written by Cormac McCarthy. Now, before I go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. So, what happens within this work? Well, we have a man by the name of Llewellyn Moss. Llewellyn Moss, he stumbles upon $2.4 million in the desert, in Texas. Basically, it's a drug deal gone wrong, and everybody's dead. But Llewellyn Mossy stumbles upon $2.4 million. That's just lucky, man. That is very lucky. And he takes the money. He's like, man, this is my life. My life is set. I'm a millionaire. This is great. Well, there's another man later that we'll meet. His name is Anton Chigger. Anton Chigger. And Chigger does not mess around. He loves to kill people. Well, he has no problem killing people when it fits, his own rules and ethics. When his ethics, when his moral code tells him to kill people, that's when Anton Chigger kills people. So basically, what happens within the novel is that Llewellyn Moss, Moss, he tries to keep the money to himself. He tries to find his wife, and he tries to get away with it all. Take the sack of money and go off into the sunset. And his wife Carla Jean, doesn't, throughout the novel, she just wants the simple life, man. She just wanted to have her husband, live her life, and just have an average life. But Llewellyn Miles, he's like, man, with this money that I stumbled upon in the desert, we can have it big. We can have it all, and, his wife is, well, this is all illegal because within the book, the police are after Moss, and Anton is after Moss, and everybody's either trying to arrest him, kill him, do something to him, or just get the money back. And he's just, going all over Texas, different settings, and, buying things here and there, eating expensive foods, picking up hitchhikers, because he ends up picking up a hitchhiker and giving her $1,000. And it's a whole bloody scene because we see Anton Sugar. He's a hitman that's hired to reclaim the money, and basically, ultimately, he ends up, he's gonna kill Llewellyn. All right, he's gonna kill Moss, and he does. He does kill Moss. Anton Trigger. He's kind of like John Wick. It's really Sugar doesn't play around. Sugar just kills whoever's in his way. Whoever gets in his way, he just takes them down. He kills Moss. He kills Carla Jean. He kills them all. He has his own moral ethics. And later in the novel, I mean, he gets into a car accident. This whole novel doesn't really. It's just the Wild West. Llewellyn Moss. You would think that maybe he would get away with it, or somehow things would end up well for him, but they don't. He just dies in the end. The sheriff is an interesting character in this work. He pretty much tells you how times are changing. That times used to be more simple, but now people are getting more violent, more bloody, and well, at any point in time within this wild scenery, you can get a bullet in the head, and that's one of the things that you see within this novel is a bunch of people are getting bullets in the head, and especially if you cross somebody like Sugar. Sugar doesn't mess around. We do get to see Anton Sugar's moral code. When he's a man of his word. He kept his word to Moss that he would kill his wife, and ultimately he does kill Carla Jean, just because of his word, not because Carla Jean did anything to him. It's just that he's a man of his word. So Sugar, if he gets a job, if he's gonna do a job, he's gonna do it no matter what. And he does a lot of pondering and reflections. There's even a place within this novel you can say that he has a god complex, to the point where because well, truthfully, the only being in the universe that can keep his word is God, right? And Sugar has that same kind of principle. He kind of like, tries to size himself up to God, kind of saying that as soon as he says something, he's gonna stick to it and do it. So the whole novel, in terms of deeper meaning and analysis, the whole novel, No Country for Old Men here, we're seeing drug deals. We're seeing men killing each other for money. We're seeing moral decay. People who have their own moral ethics. This is not your ordinary Western cops and robbers. This is more hitman, average man who turns outlaw in one instance and tries to make it away with $2 million and does not. We're seeing a bloody death of a couple. We're seeing, the aftermath of coming back from war and facing a life where maybe you don't have all you want to in life. And we're seeing the realities of living in a country where, well, these things haven't gone away. Drugs is still a huge thing within the United States, and a lot of people profit. And there's a whole criminal underground that pretty much survives on the, creating, farming, packaging, shipping and handling and selling of drugs. It's a whole industry that is international. There are current organizations that do this international. It's an international organization that brings in a lot of money throughout the United States, the Caribbean, and pretty much all countries. Really, there's probably a criminal underbelly that do these things, and we're seeing that they have hitmen, they have they have drug runners, they have arms, they have money, and they know how to recover their money. And so this novel, it's not just a simple narrative. It's kind of like looking at society and what humans can do, and how does moral ethics and moral codes play within it. So the novel pretty much ends with Sugar. It pretty much ends with him. He gets the job done and he gets the money back um, to its, I guess, its owner. I don't know if you can say owner because he gets it back to the criminal, the crime boss criminal, and then we have some reflections. So this novel does not end well. I mean, maybe it could have ended, like, I guess if you wanted a happy ending, it could have ended with Llewellyn Moss and Llewellyn and Carla Jean going off into the sunset and enjoying a beautiful life. That's not what we get. We get them dead. We get them dead. And so, you know, there is some reflections within the novel talking about regrets and keeping your word and what is the meaning of all of that, and even some contemplation, some thinking about God and why does God let certain things happen. So this book is, it's not just a narrative. It's philosophical in many ways, thinking about why do bad things happen? Why do people die? Why do people get into back accidents and horrible things happen in life? And there's cripples and blind people and injured people and people that lose limbs and people that die and young children that go away and die and all these bad things that happen to people and this and that and the third, and then people who keep their word and people who don't, and um what does people's words mean? Are you a person that keeps your word or a person that don't keep your word? And then the whole questions about morals and ethics come into play within this book. So this book is not just a simple narrative. It's examining each characters and their thoughts. Some of these characters have deep thoughts about life and reality and why certain things happen and why do certain things happen to certain people and what does God have to do about it, and also reflection throughout life and what you regret, what you don't regret. So there's no just like simple answer that saying No Country for Old Men is about the Wild West and killing and murder and drugs. It's pretty much it's throwing every the law abiding, the criminal underground, the sheriff, a man who's just trying to get some money and provide himself and his wife a better life, and then the moral code of a hitman. So it kind of gives you the perspective of reality of life from all sides, from a policeman's side, the sheriff's views about the world and what's happening with the drug deals, and everything like that, and also a hitman's beliefs and how he sees the world. And sometimes I would even say that there's a little bit morbid humor with this novel, because a lot of times the way that when people die and the sheriff is looking at the bodies and people are examining the bodies, it's like they're judging and they're like, well, I guess he's not well, there's one scene where it's like, well, I guess he's not a drug dealer anymore or a drug runner, or like when people die, it's like, well, that must have hurt, or like there's an old woman that gets killed, and there's a comment where they go, someone goes, well, I guess this is not what you expected, darling, or this is not what you were expecting, because like this old lady, she's in a rocking chair, she gets her head blown off, and the newspaper falls into her lap, and it's a morbid scene. But well, this is Cormac McCarthy for you. Cormac McCarthy doesn't really put anything, he doesn't beat around the bush, he's just straightforward with everything that's going on. And sometimes the truth, you see, the truth is simple and it's clear, but the truth, when it's just told to you up front and without any reservations, it is quite shocking, and some people can't accept the truth because it's just so evident. It's just, yeah. But those are my thoughts and my analysis, my summary of this book by Cormac McCarthy. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.